not supporting Gucci, are you?
Nah.
No, obviously I don't know what's going with that whole thing, innit?
Bruh, the amount of other situations that have come out of the similar idea is crazy. I doubt you heard about the whole Katy Perry thing.
Huh?
Katy Perry's shoe line.
Ooh, Katy Perry. I can just look it up, but yeah, Karen, who is that anyway? It's like I vaguely remember who that is, but I don't.
All right, like the.
But yeah, what's going on?
American musician girl. Yeah, she dropped.
Let me see.
The one that was married to with
yeah,
Russell Brand.
Yeah.
Yeah, she had she had like a shoe line that came out, and wait, it was Kate, yeah, and it kind of resembled the whole blackface thing.
Oh, what the fuck, man! Oh, what? Come on, bro! You gotta be joking, surely.
I'm actually confused. Yeah, and
when was this?
This is not even very long. This is a few months back, I believe. This ain't February, yeah.
Nah, obviously the images you just showed me, then that's gotta be a joke, innit? Sure. There's no way that can actually be the official thing.
That was the official thing sat on there. So they had a white version and a black version.
But what's wrong with people making all these type of stuff? Like, I really don't get it, innit? Like I don't get
if it's a one-off, like
a one-off, it shouldn't even be happening anyway.
It shouldn't. But I mean, like, if one brand did it and they're like, oh, we didn't know. Fair enough. But multiple brands are doing this now.
We didn't know, fam. Tell me how that looks. Tell me how that looks right. But you can instantly look at that and just think,
like, it's not even a good design.
It's some off-key thing, bruv. It's off-key. Without it being the whole blackface thing or whatever, just the look of it alone is off-key. No one should in their right mind just think, yeah, this is sellable. I'm actually gonna flop these. I'm gonna sell it. Like,
put it up on the website and start.
And charge how much? How much you charging for these dead things as well? Not that it matters because it's dead.
I bet
even if it was $10 for £10 or whatever, it's dead.
I bet they're putting some pretty numbers on them.
Dead. What number
Katy
is?
Perry collection. Footwear style. It's just such a wild idea.
Oh, now things started to creep into my brain.
What?
Obviously, I'll let you finish that first. But yeah, same shit though, with trainers and that, innit? And footwear.
Okay.
What, the price is there?
Those specific ones aren't here. I bet they've probably taken them off.
That's what I mean.
But
they must,
all the prices here in the 90s.
Yeah, you probably could. I don't even know why man are trying. They probably could even find it, but they must have obviously just took a look at that and just thought, yeah, we need to cancel
get that off.
Yeah, blood, flipping. Oh, but on the trainer thing, like, I was looking at some, not me, per se, but I was being shown some the other day of what is it? The Adidas. Is it CMDs or something? Or something like that anyway. AMD? Some next ones.
AMDs or
something like that anyway. And I seen some hard ones because I was kind of looking for, just kind of seeing what was out there and looking for trainers just to kind of see what was out there because I have my little moments where I might, if I see some I like, I'll invest in it. I'll buy some. You get me? But
man said invest.
I'll invest in some. You get me? And it's perfect, especially sometimes. Well, I suppose I said that invest because obviously, more than likely, but nowadays when man are buying trainers, but it's always over like £100.
Sure.
Or
I
like me buying trainers less than 100 is rare, bruv. So more than likely they're always over 100 or even more than that, £200 range or whatever. Yeah. That's sort of like my limit. I'm not going any more than like around 200 odd. Like if I do, that's because obviously I'm nice. But on a normal-ish day, I don't mind doing a 200. But yeah,
but balling for real.
Nah, not even.
Like I mean, I'm not even in that whole trainer game anyway. I'm just about stepping in there like a week ago. That's
a week ago.
Yeah.
A week ago. I don't believe you.
Like
everyone's a trainer head, isn't it? Whether either your shoes or your sneaker or whatever, or trainer head, but like either way, like you're one or either, right?
The reason why I say so is because like usually I only rock with smart, casual, smart casual and casual. So I have one for each scenario.
Yeah.
And that's how I've been rocking for probably the last 7 years. It's only recently, like a couple weeks ago, that I decided that I was gonna actually, like you say, invest. And still, I'm not touching any trainers that are over 100. At least in my
but don't
position
get me
at
wrong,
the moment,
man can't justify the money for most of these things that man buy, innit? But yeah, my point was on them Adidas things, whatever they're called. I have to find out.
Okay.
But, obviously, I seen some Pharrell ones, and this is before I even knew that it was by him.
Okay.
But obviously, when you check the design, it's kind of like you can just know, innit? You can tell it's like that's kind of Pharrell's kind of style. Right. And it didn't really surprise me that I was into them. You get me? But but the price, get me, like £400 odd, and I just thought as much, bro. I just thought as much as I like the design and stuff. And I really like what Pharrell sort of brings to the table when he's working with Adidas. Like, I'm not spending no £400 on no trainers, fam. Like, it's mad. Like, man just can't justify spending that type of money on these kind of things anymore. It's off key. And what I was saying to the same dude that was showing me, because he was going on about Yeezys and whatever, and I said, but bruv, when Kanye was going on about the whole Yeezys thing, he was saying they was going to be affordable. Tell me how they're affordable, fam. They're not that affordable, innit? If you really check
I guess he never mentioned who he was making it affordable.
Yeah, but this is what but when he was doing all the interviews and that, and and he was on some mad thing, and he was doing all the Breakfast Club interview and whatever. Yeah. In some of those interviews, he was saying basically it's gonna be affordable, innit? Basically saying that anyone from any category will be able to afford these trainers, and it doesn't. This is not going to be a case where you need to be in some high end job, or you need to be a rapper or something, or like in order to afford these trainers. You get me? Like, blood, it's all fam. Like, as much as I rate Yeezys or whatever, like, I like the look of them kind of thing. I haven't actually put a pair on my feet, but.
I hear they're really comfortable.
I'm not.
In my opinion, if Yeezys were to ever to become affordable, in quote, I reckon it wouldn't be for the reason that he wants everyone to have it. I reckon that would be because they're losing business and they want to move a bunch of units, which is actually happening currently. Because before they used to be like super rare to be able to find it. You have to have a plug that is able to hook you up with a pair. They're super exclusive. Not very many bits are made. Nowadays, they're being sold like normal shoes. Yeah. So, like someone like Joe Budden said a lot of times, I feel like
should be though anyway. There should be, so blood. You can always do a new design in it of trainers or of Yeezys in it. So there's no reason as to why you can't have a normal pair or the normal pair of Yeezys or whatever. I guess so. The first
makes sense. After all, the ones that are selling a lot are the
those are normal now. Those are normal. So those are just out there, and you can just say, look, cool. We're just gonna do a new thing. Yeah. And get me. We'll just make this one an exclusive one, and this one will be again a typical hard to get your hands on. Yeah. Yada yada yada. Whatever, you get me, like. So it's not really. I think, but yeah, man. Yeah, I was thinking on that the other day. So I just thought, man, I can't justify spending these mad.
Definitely not up there yet.
And to back off that as well. Yeah. Like I was even thinking, even like this, just the general spending on the clothes thing as well, bruv. Like, I'm literally. Well, we'll see what happens, innit? But literally, like, bruv, I might just have to do a Steve Jobs. I might just, I might have to do a Steve Jobs. I might just literally have to just buy like 5 sweaters, 5 pair of jeans.
All right.
Just literally.
I was going to say.
But all of the
There's a lot of things Steve Jobs did.
No. But I mean, like, in the sense of like, literally be on that same kind of vibe where, yo, when you check most of my man's pictures, blood, he's wearing the same shit. He's wearing the same shit. It's just the same sweater, but obviously probably like a fresh one or whatever. But it's just the same thing, fam. Like, I might not need to speak on the riches of Steve Jobs. And you know what I've gone.
Yeah.
So
that is
don't get me wrong, bro. Like, I like to be out here and I like to get me like once in a while, like, and it happens anyway, naturally. Like, I don't really ball out like that as much as I used to like a good couple of years ago. You get me? So I'm kind of easy now anyway. But you know, I'll have a rare moment where like, I'll spend a little bit on a jacket or whatever, something of that nature. You get me? On like trainers is normal kind of thing, cause that's every now and then. But bro, on a regular basis, from every like on a day-to-day basis, Steve Jobs.
Like I totally rate it. I mean, Steve Jobs, what's the name? Mark Zuckerberg.
Same thing.
Jeff Bezos. He's more in the kind of businessman realm where he's constantly wearing suits. But like all of them, it's like they're just rolling.
Yeah, but
they don't have to show it.
But that's what I mean. But it's not all this like I'm not talking now. But in terms of coming up, it's bruv, it was all simple shit. 100%. It's not like they're wearing some mad thing. Whatever.
Who are you wearing today?
Normal sweater, blood. Normal, probably $20 sweater or whatever. You get me? Just man. Just like keep it simple, innit?
Yeah. No, 100%.
If you're trying to do something, keep it simple, innit? There ain't no need to try get me, because if you're trying to do this whole be out here and have the mad brands and whatnot, and then you're trying to achieve something, it ain't gonna work for me. So just like it don't work, innit?
Yeah, it doesn't make sense at all. For me, in terms of clothing, I hate brands. I don't know. I'm pretty sure I've said it here before. Like, I hate wearing brands and stuff like that. So as far as I'm concerned, it's all about like pairing stuff up. Although that consumes a lot of time, it's usually cheaper anyway. So it fits my budget for the most part. But clothing is getting ridiculous nowadays.
It's fashion, isn't it? So man, it's always going to be moving.
It's so mad. But I feel like we should.
What? Because I know you got something there, bro. I know you got something from.
For real. Like, is that necessary right now? The number one that's up there is
the fact that you said it means that it's probably necessary. So well gone.
The first one on the list says, "Will we ever get over race?" Like all the conversations that have to do with race.
Get over race?
In terms of like,
it's just a point blank answer.
History.
It's just no, isn't it? No, we won't. We're never gonna get over race. Never, because it's just too much. The humans are too opinionated, fam. Like we're all just brought up in many different ways, isn't it? Like race will always be a thing.
I don't think necessarily in general. I feel like it's great to acknowledge that people are different, but I feel like we should also be able to refer and communicate with people regardless of that difference. If you get what I mean.
What do you
mean? So like relating with a white man, obviously.
Blood,
just
all that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
it's just it's like for me, blood. It's like whatever. Like there's just nothing to like this just like relate to what in that sense. Like even when I see all these conversations about race and whatever, it's just like bruv, like it's like just the same old conversation like being had again. It's just like race this, race that. And you know everyone's playing the race card on this.
I'm surprised that it's still going.
That I understand, shit's going on or whatever. So of course, race is going to be brought up in some topics. But honestly, blood, like you know what, fucking even when I seen something earlier today, bro, or yesterday or whenever it was, and I seen them dumb little videos from where you get like something like, would you date such and such race, and it's like
why is that?
What is this about?
Yeah.
Like, I don't get it, blood. And like, the title wasn't necessarily that. It was actually more complex than that in that sense. But it was like, I just looked at it and I just thought, like, what's this all about? Like, how is this even? Like, to me, blood, I didn't even really deem it as entertainment. Like, to me, I actually looked at it and I thought, like, I actually looked at it more on a deeper scale. Like, yo, like, this is just off key, bruv.
It really
like,
is.
This don't make no sense, innit? Like, I can't even understand why you would feel like you need to even ask
that question.
These questions, bruv. Like, you know, it's controversy already within itself. Like, it's dumb, innit? But man are gonna do what they're gonna do or whatever, and, you know, and ask these dumb questions. But but the race card is played out, fam. Like, it really is. Like, it is what it is, man. Like, it is what it is, blood. You can either be someone and you can be in this thing and you can rant about it. You can go on whatever you want to go on about, white this, black that.
Yeah.
You know, just whatever, blood. It's just like, it's all. Yeah.
The main reason I came up with that that question popped up in my head is I've been having multiple conversations with people during the week and stuff here and there about.
You know what?
What's this?
Obviously, you know, remember when I mentioned the girl?
Yeah.
That obviously I was having a conversation with her over there, but we'll get her on there. We're gonna get her on there as well at some point. I seen her again the other day, and we was just having a just general conversation and whatever. But it's funny how you're mentioning race and how she mentioned race to me the other day.
Okay.
In terms of like her coming from London and moving here.
Yeah.
And feeling like obviously
the way people react to
she was like
is different.
Like how trying to identify with herself.
Yeah.
Even though like she's half and half, which is I think she said she was half Jamaican and half white basically, but it's funny just like brother, it was just kind of like how she felt out of place in that sense, or like it's just like it's a funny one. It's a funny one, but I suppose sometimes like maybe like I don't know. I suppose that kind of happens though when you go to another place.
Yeah,
that isn't necessarily where it's more predominantly like you know, of a certain, you know, race or whatever, or like sort of like, you know, just like people, you know, someone that people that are not, you know, not black or not white or whatever, depending on what you are, like you feel like a bit like shit,
it makes
like,
sense.
There's no one around here that looks like me, and it kind of
sounds like how I feel in Bath constantly.
Man, don't get me wrong, like I get it, but I'm more used to it now.
Yeah,
so obviously when man first came,
I didn't
like,
think about it.
It was,
initially,
you know, shit plays on your mind, kind of thing. You're kind of looking around like, yo, you kind of feel like you're being watched, kind of thing.
Yeah.
If I'm like nowadays, man, just go about my business, bruv.
Yeah.
And they ain't even really.
I'm not even
really thinking
deep.
on it.
Yeah.
On that kind of level, and to be honest, I'm starting to notice a lot more now. That is
100%.
Is getting a lot more diverse
than what it was.
Get me? There's a lot of people that's turning
especially
up.
with the new students and everything everywhere.
Not even students, bruv. Just in general, like just people that are either moving here or whatever.
Okay.
Or it feels like it's getting a lot more diverse now in terms of like, sort of like the people that I'm seeing here. You get me? But
okay. Because with me, I
don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that it's still predominantly white.
It definitely is for a fact.
I'm just saying I'm seeing a little switch up. You get me?
100%. Yeah. But in terms of what I was saying earlier,
what was you gonna say?
It was because I've been having a lot of conversations outside of these spaces that have to do with race, whether it's having conversations on knife crime and stuff like that, and how many times.
That's another one I was gonna chat on.
For real, how many times they've had conversations on air where these people are constantly coining it a black problem as opposed to just a problem in general. Black problem.
Exactly, this is a problem for everyone. Fam. The only thing that's what's happening is that the media, the news, and the papers are just picking up. Essentially, you know, when it's black people, you know, doing it, or being, you know, black people that's being killed, or you know, when that gets put in your face so much, you think that you automatically you think that, boy, you know what, like,
especially
like, for going on? Like,
especially for the people who don't even interact with black people, and every time they do come across information about black people, it's either on the news where a crime has been committed in this place or that place, so automatically it's promoting the wrong narrative. But what is annoying to me is, obviously I haven't looked too deep into it yet, but a lot of the conversations that have started now that were sparked in like the last couple of weeks. I don't know if I'm right to say that both of those cases that were aired on the news constantly were both white kids. The ones that were attacked in like the girl in the park, and there was another. I think there was another kid somewhere else. But like I found it odd that those. It could be just a situation where it's just the time that it's happened that has caused the conversation to go on for longer. But I found it interesting that it was in that scenario that a lot of these conversations started happening a lot more rapid. And I had to take a second to step back and be like, okay, these things are happening constantly in certain parts of London. Why isn't that enough to spark this conversation?
Yeah, and obviously, bruv, of course, with this on this topic here, we can it's either a wider, it can even be a wider sort of, you know, discussion where we're not just simply talking about London, or we're just simply talking about London. So it's gotta be it's gotta be either one. You get me? Because if you take it outside of this, and of course, if anyone's watched a Carla interview or whatever, you're gonna hear my man obviously mention like fuck, what was it? Not can't remember what flipping city it was now. But it ain't too far from me, blood. But yeah, I can't even remember which one. It was like two main ones or whatever. You get me? Where he was saying like, that's it, Glasgow. Okay. Where obviously it was like, you know, all the killings over there. You know, it's all, you know, it's white. It's just white. You know, people. It's white people that's, you know,
living there pretty much,
committing, you know, murders and this and that and blah 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 and you know whatever. And then London, obviously, you know, it seems or it feels like, oh, you know, a lot of, you know, black kids and whatever are, you know, or people of, you know, that's of color or whatever, or black or whatever, they're the ones, you know, that's being killed. You get me? And it's black people that are, you know, or that are on the other end, you know, committing these things. You get me? But I don't know what to say, blood. Really, on this whole topic, really and truly. Like it's no one's got nothing to do, innit? Like no one ain't got nothing to do, fam. And the thing, and what's funny as well, like obviously with me being here, and obviously it being like predominantly white and whatever, like blood, like sometimes when I see like little white kids or whatever, probably like of the age of like 14, 15 or whatever, like, and they're kind of like they're kind of rolling like the same way like how man would in ends. Like that kind of thing. But like, I just kind of analyze and I just kind of think like sometimes, and I will ask, and I like sometimes I think like, yo, like what is it that like, what do you have to do in it? Like what do you like have to do in that sense? In the sense of like, what things can you do? Like what's going on in it? Why is there anything for you to do? You get me? Like, because I don't know in it. Because my name's not I'm not within your age group. So I don't really know what you guys have to do now, innit? But like, I just find it funny because it's not as much as everyone or the media or whoever keeps putting the light on black people, it really isn't black. I'm seeing man out here of all colours, but moving on the same thing.
If I'm to talk about the experiences and people I've chatted with that are moving like that here in Bath, predominantly white kids.
Yeah, easily.
So like from my knowledge,
even from when man are just chatting, it's almost like man are trying to act the same. In that sense, you know, trying to kind of bring that same kind of thing across and that same kind of vibe in this. So I'm just, like I said, fam, I just kind of, you know, I just analyze and I'm just kind of like, yo, like all what you're doing now, bruv, like that little kind of acting and, you know, that kind of like, you know, that ain't needed, innit? Like, I'm not saying like, of course, be you, innit? If that is generally who you are, cool, whatever, innit? But I know that most of you ain't like that. This is an act right now. And if man
It's
wants to drag you up or
thing.
whatever, or pull it on you, I guarantee you, it's changing instantly. It's really changing instantly. So it's like, yeah, man, just like, cut all that out. You get me? But yeah, definitely, you know, yeah, fam. These kids are not growing up now. Like, they need something to do, man. Like some, you know, like obviously like the youth clubs and all them other, like, you know, when I was growing up, fam, obviously those were the things that were around. You get me?
Yeah.
You know, youth club. Man used to go studio, like.
People actually used to get out of the house and
like, yeah, bro. You get out of the house and that. Go and youth club, do some music if you know.
Remember when we had that conversation about social media killing childhood?
Yeah.
That I feel like, again, that this is another area where
killing everything.
It really is, and I feel like this is another place where it really is having an impact, where people, these young kids are getting involved in things, or they are being exposed to things that normal upbringing wouldn't allow you experience till you reached a certain age. So they're getting themselves preoccupied with those things before, like it's almost a backwards way of living, where as kids they're starting to get themselves involved with like adulthood and in the way those things react. So you're finding these kids completely disregarding all the normal social stuff, jumping straight into the whole drinking, straight into the drug dealing, straight into the...
It's just the times that we're in, bruv. And you know,
I guess this
is essentially, you know, that is just the times that we're just in. Like, you know, man can't think about sometimes like how it was growing up for us, and like, you know, someone of my age or whatever growing up in the 90s or whatever, like, you know, it ain't that no more, innit? Like,
it really isn't.
This is what it is today. Like, things move quick. So you know, you just gotta roll with the times, man, and just be, you know, you just have to keep up to date, man. Seriously, and just adjust, and you know, man, you just gotta clue up your kids from early, man. Kids, or whether you have kids, or you just just anyone,
just people around you, for
man.
The most part.
You just gotta.
It's saddening, but at the same time, it's interesting to find that these young kids who are dealing with that side of the problem a lot of times tend to also be.
Man, I just think a lot of men are just getting gassed. A lot of men are just getting gassed. And the sense of like, man could just be listening to music, or could just see something online. A video, whether it's a real thing or it's not, or it's just something that's acted out, or man will probably watch the film or whatnot. And man just get gassed and just think, like
it's pretty much how most young kids acted then. It's just that the content they were consuming then wasn't mad. Like no, then you were watching the Spider-Man. You still, if you're talking in the sense of like knife crime and guns and whatever, you still got that from watching. Just if you were exposed to that, or if you came across any of those films, you get me, man. Still got that from, you know, American films and whatever, and like Boys in the Hood and like Menace to Society and all them kind of other films. You get me? That's where man used to get all that kind of stuff from, along with just obviously what man just used to see in general, just on the road or whatever, or when you just come outside your house and man are just on the block, or like, you get me? So you like, I guess in terms of,
you know what I mean,
the way I was introduced to all that when I was younger, what the main content that I was consuming was obviously from let's say about 9ish. It was mainly just cartoony.
I knew he was gonna say that. That's the maddest thing.
The animes, you were trying to be that character for what it is. But now,
but that's age, like when you're really young, though. Like when you're really young,
even 15.
Yeah. Like probably even still maybe around them ages, but fam, like not really.
But nowadays, those kids from 9 are the ones into drill music. Really
could be, but I mean,
so I can understand why those kind of things, if you're surrounded by it, will start activating you into wanting to express that side, even if it's not truly where you're at. Because it's kind of the same thing that will cause me to want to be a Spider-Man. Oh man, I think that's really cool.
Yeah, but blood, that's like when you're like 9, 10 years old, fam.
Yeah.
Or like maybe even 12. Like blood, once you get past a certain mark, which is probably like 12, 13 years old, you're not thinking about wanting to be Spider-Man and all that. You get me? You're just trying to.
Who knows how these kids are
Yeah. Of course, man, don't know how they think. Yeah. But if I'm just thinking generally how I used to, whatever. Yes. I just think even still for today, that probably still stands. You reach a certain point
where you realize the difference.
Get me, like blood. When man probably reached like 12, 13 years old, even probably before that, you're thinking about gyal, you're thinking about sex, you're thinking about how this goes down, you're thinking about all these different things, you're thinking about how can you be the guy or how can you be the girl, like all these things, bro. Like you're not thinking about wanting to be Spider-Man and all these and you know, you're just not thinking that, bro. That just goes out the window. You're just trying to be that person, innit? Like, it's almost like you're still kind of finding yourself in that sense.
Yeah, for real.
So almost like you're just kind of subconsciously still finding your feet, and you're just tuning along as time goes on, kind of thing. But yeah, man. Yeah, I think in you know, just on that subject there just needs to be more shit for these lot to do, you know, and just yeah, man. I think sometimes, you know, we just really need to vocalize, like, you know, how stupid this shit is sometimes, bruv. Whether whether it's beef or like man could just create beef, like fake beef out of nothing, blood, just out of thin air, like because you've just made up in your mind for whatever reason that you don't like this dude, and now all of a sudden it's beef. And when you're with your man them, or when you're with your friends, you're telling them, it's get me, you see my man there or whatever, or that girl, it's beef, man, it's beef. Ain't no beef, fam. Nothing didn't happen, innit? Ain't no nothing, blood. Get me? Like that's why when I was growing up or whatever, like it was all just beef because man are on the other side of the bridge. it's like
literally.
And don't get me wrong, it's almost like that's the same thing with like just like in like, well, like I would say like probably same thing as like America then. Yeah. In that sense, you're just on the other end, but for whatever reason, it's beef. So if you're on the other
here
end,
in Bath, there was a whole period where it was all the different postcodes were beefing because
I heard a local
BA2, BA1, BA3. I don't think BA3 got involved.
I don't know what man are trying to do.
It's just a very warped concept.
Lad, think about how stupid this is, and if you're listening to this, I want you to think about how stupid this is, and this makes no sense, fam. You're trying to beef, or you're trying to get something cracking, or get nothing cracking, or get involved in something over a fucking postcode, blood. A man dumb. Like
you don't even own the house, bruh.
A postcode, fam. Over a couple letters. That means absolutely nothing to you.
Nothing to anyone besides the postman that's gonna deliver letters to your doorstep.
Is it engraved in your chest or something? It's like, is it a stamp? I don't get it, blood. Like, what is this, isn't it? Like, this means nothing to man, innit? So I don't understand what the whole of this, you know, carrying this around and this is what man represent. Represent what, blood? What do you represent? Yeah, man represent BA1 or man represent BA2, innit? Like, that's what man represent, innit? I get it, blood. Like, obviously, man are from a certain ends and area and whatever.
Yeah.
And that's cool.
But that is, area or whatever, that's not a logical. I don't
mean that man have to rep it in the sense of like, oh, we gotta be violent because I'm from BA1, fam, and you're from BA2, innit? So what are you saying, innit, blood? Like, it's dumb.
It doesn't make sense.
But obviously, the you get me, the man them coming up or whatever, like, just get me, whether like just anywhere, blood. Sometimes man don't see it that way, innit? But yeah, fam. Obviously, everyone will get me, will reach me at a certain point, at some point where they're just like,
or most
this
people
is dumb,
will.
innit? This is dumb. Will. Whether that's like at the age of 18, I feel like by like the age of 18 or so, if you're in it, by the time you reach that 18, bruv, that's when I think you have a little think. Yeah. And you're like, this is dumb, innit? Like, I know, I don't know what necessarily I can like achieve, but I know I can do more than this stuff. In that sense, I know I can do more than this. I don't know what, but I know I can do more than this, and that might just be enough for you to kind of be like, yeah, you know what, like I'm out of this kind of thing. So yeah, man. Everyone have everyone. Well, I can't say everyone yet. There's gonna be some that will have that moment. Some from others it might take a bit longer, but yeah, man. This is shit that bruv. We can't easily get rid of this. You get me? So
For the most part, I could somewhat sympathize with those who say they don't really have any other opportunities or any positions to be in. But the ones that kind of do my head in the most are the ones who are coming from a either financial standpoint where they have access to so much more, but they are choosing to either be lazy or choosing to sit in those crowds. Because if you're watching this right now, you know who you are. But I know certain individuals who either it's some form of creativity to which they are constantly pestering me about in terms of they want to get into that zone. Mm-hmm. They have everything they need in terms of money to buy any equipment, to pay for studios, to research about how this industry works, to do anything they need to. Because these men are spending bags and bags on bikes that are being stolen, on cars. And it's like, just put your time into this and sort that out and get out of this foolishness. But these individuals decide that they rather sit in this zone, rather spend pretty much all their nights just constantly drinking, smoking.
That's the answer for that. They can't see what's in front of them, man.
And it's just so.
And that's a challenging one, man. It's hard sometimes to see, what's around you. Like, and what's what's in front of you. You get me? Like, man can't always.
It's wild because obviously I know that you could say something to someone and they're not gonna be able to get it. But the amount of times I've said it to these individuals is starting to frustrate me, because I'm getting to a point where I'm like, why am I talking to you? I can see that you have so much potential and you have all the keys for the most part you need to get yourself started, and it's now
sometimes that's why
to
you
me
just
to
need
waste
to
my
take,
time.
You just need to take that person. Just be like, you know what, you just need to just come with me, and just come with me, brother, and let me just show you. Get me? Like, something like just another way in it. Like, just something else you can do, man. Like, you can do much more. But sometimes it actually takes that, like, you just have to sort of bring man across and just actually show them, rather than kind of just chatting. Because that's what man used to do all the time. He used to tell man, this is how it's gonna go, bruv. If man keep doing this, like, if man do this, this is how it's gonna, this is how it could probably backfire and blah blah blah. Like, man's gonna end up here if we keep doing this, like, blood. And exactly what I said, like, 9 times out of 10, bruv, that's exactly what happened. That is exactly what happened. And it was just like, when shit kept happening over the years, I was just like, yo, like, I told man, innit, like, this was what was gonna happen, bro. So when it happened, like, it wasn't no surprise to me, because I knew what was coming. You get me? Hence why I got out. But yeah, man, yeah. We just got man. Just can't give up, I suppose. Just keep talking, man. Just keep talking, bruv. You never know, man. One day it might
finally get through, for real.
Words might eventually go through. You get me? So
yeah. But at the same time, I also feel like there are certain individuals that obviously at the end of the day, you can't do someone's work for them in terms of what they need to work on themselves.
Saying do the work for them, but yeah.
But I know one too many people that I know. It's all in their hands now. It's one of those the ball's in your court kind of situation. You know what it is, and you decide what steps you're gonna take. But yeah, I don't know why I forgot this guy's name. His name's Armani. I can't remember his surname, but he released a short film recently. It's either very much linked to what we're talking about in terms of how he started off living in London and everything, started getting into the wrong crowds, and then eventually he started up his own property business, and then being somehow dragged right back into those crowds that he was involved in prior to, and being stabbed and stuff like that. But he released a short film. We would link it in the description. He released a short film in February, I believe it was. And you know this? The same guy that acted in Shiro's story as Shiro?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. He was the one that acted the main part in this film as well. He I found it really interesting because it played around with that whole idea. And funny enough, my sister is good friends with his sister. So that's how she found out about it. And like all the people he's been getting involved in terms of making all these moves and everything. But what I'm glad is that there are people who are actually out there that are coming from those zones who are able to show a vivid picture of how it could change. Because for me talking to, let's say, someone who's coming out of there's only so much I could say because my background is completely different.
Yeah,
I
but
can't
you know
relate
what,
to some extent.
Even on that front, though,
yeah,
I feel like man can do that all day. I'm not saying I'm not saying that it's not, that I don't like to see those things and get me, because I like that, I like, that it shows, sort of like a story. It tells a story in terms of like, of how things can go, and sort of just like if you're mixed up in this, or if this is what you're in, kind of thing. It just shows you a scenario of like, this is one scenario probably out of many that, things could go this way or whatever. So I like that kind of stuff, you get me? But at the same time, but how many times do man need to see that? Or how many times does someone need to keep doing that? That same thing. Get me? Like, why can't we just do something where, like, it's something good? Like, you see, it's it's just something more like, I don't know, man, just something a bit more positive. You get me? Sometimes I feel like, yeah, bruv, like I'm not saying like it's negative, just like, because I feel like it's educational to some extent. For someone that's in that scenario, like that situation. But yeah, I think we need some positive shit as well sometimes, man. We need to get a balance here, blood, because I don't think we've got much of a balance when it comes to that type of thing.
Yeah, it's so tricky. Slightly depressing, but yeah.
As far as what was the other stuff I was gonna bring up?
Snap. What was it?
It's happened recently.
What?
It was slightly linked to the whole Michael Jackson thing.
I knew you was gonna say that, and I was just about to say, is he cancelled? I had to ask someone this the other day as well, and I had to say, is he cancelled?
My opinion, no. Michael Jackson is not cancelled.
It's interesting you say that. Because
of what I said in terms of R. Kelly? Or just in general?
Nah, you know what? I find it interesting that anyone would say that he's, obviously, of course, everyone's gonna have their own opinion and whatever on this whole thing. Yeah. But blood, we all know, if you was around at them points and you seen the madness that was going on, and how the media and all this sort of stuff, and like money was being questioned about it and blah blah blah. Like my man's just an off. Like it's not to say because he's weird or he's off key or whatever, that means that he did it. But blood, I just think that you just get a feeling for these things, innit? Yeah. I personally feel that there was blood. It's all this stuff. The whole thing with you being around kids and whatnot, and like only the kid, like, and I'm hearing like you started separating like the mothers and that, and they were getting like, they were all in different hotel rooms, and like they started getting slightly further and further away and all that. It's like, what's all this about? Like, it's just weird, fam. It's weird, isn't it? Like, it's weird. Like, it's a hard one still. Yeah. It's a hard one, man. But
The way I described it when I was talking to a bunch of people was, I was like, the tricky situation that is his is, if you disregard everything that happened to him as a child, you could easily decide that this guy is straight up a pedophile.
But see, as soon as you say that, but then,
and don't get me wrong, if he did do it, his past does not.
That's the thing. We're not in a stage where we're never going to be in a stage where we can. There's never going to be an answer in it. There's never going to be an answer.
Which is the sad part of it. But I also feel like with this documentary that came up and everything, one of the biggest problems with it is the fact that everyone is pushing it like it's fact, and not just still allegations. Like, it's not just the same
allegations, and that's why when you
regurgitation of the same rubbish that was spilt then. I mean, after all, he was under investigation for 10 years with the FBI. So I'm very confused as to the people who colluded to create that. I still don't even know who it was that put together that documentary.
I think it's one of those ones. You know, it's allegations be made, and unfortunately, you make up your own mind in terms of whether you feel, that person did or didn't, and that's unfortunately, sometimes that is just how things go, man. You just go off a feeling, of just what you get. And,
I have no doubt that Michael Jackson was a weird individual.
Oh yeah, there's no doubt.
There's no doubt about that.
We know that,
but I do not think
that's not the main thing, though.
Yeah,
we know
there's so much more to have considered within that. I do not think he did it. I reckon there's a scenario where it could be true that he did, but I do not believe that's the case, especially with the evidence they're throwing out.
What exactly though? What is it exactly that he did? You see what I mean?
Touching kids.
Yeah. What of a sexual nature? I take it.
How else?
No. We have to clarify this, isn't it?
Yeah.
But
whatever kind of sexual activity with kids,
I reckon it went down, blood. Person, I reckon it went down.
Wait, so how can you say you reckon it went down and still say he's not cancelled?
I never answered the question. I was asking you if you think.
All right. So do you think he's cancelled?
For me, but see with man, people's gonna be trying to say that man's a hypocrite, innit? But blood, this is how I look at it, innit? And but I say the same thing with the R. Kelly thing. Like, and for me, that's more of a thing for me than this Michael Jackson thing, cause get me 90s R&B and all that. That's my shit, innit? So it's a different thing for me. You get me?
It's a personal attack.
but just on any of that stuff, like, for me, like, do you separate the music from what man do in their personal, their personal kind of stuff? Because I feel like music is one thing, and then what man do outside of that is another thing, of course. But it's hard because it's still that person.
It's that individual.
So
and to some extent, you I get that whole idea of separating the artist from the art, and I used to support it till I was met with that whole R. Kelly situation, which had me totally reconsider it.
But I think regardless,
because
you cannot deny you can't deny good music, innit?
Don't get me wrong, but if he was proven guilty somehow, Michael Jackson, and I would want him to be cancelled, but I do not think cancelling him means that we are going to deny that this guy was a freak of nature in terms of talent.
Absolutely bonkers. You'd be chatting
that would be ridiculous.
You'd be chatting shit to yourself if you thought,
like,
if you were
if people are trying to say that they're gonna wipe out all that he did in terms of his musical genius, that would be ridiculous. Because if that's the case, you might as well get rid of all the people who were influenced by this guy in terms of, like, inspired by him to create.
He's got bangers.
And the funny thing is, just like some people might look at it and say, "Oh, I said R. Kelly was cancelled, and I wasn't dealing with his music." Like, I probably listen to more R. Kelly than I do to Michael.
Yeah. That's definitely.
So I have no real like. I'm not one of those fans that's like, oh, I knew this is from this album. I don't really
know anyone that's really spinning Michael Jackson like MJ like that. Anyway, I don't really know anyone that's really spinning him.
True.
Spinning his tunes like that. You get me? Like, man, just have a rare moment.
I know like a couple people who do spin his stuff, but not like crazy.
Yeah.
But most people I know are kind of like the ones who appreciate his art and probably just his hits kind of thing. And
yeah, but he's got a lot of them. He's got a lot of them
for sure.
But you get me, like, yeah, for anyone to whatever or be in any conversation about this, whether it's R. Kelly or Michael Jackson, we will not deny that they have good day. We all know you can't deny the music, innit?
Yeah,
man got bangers.
I can't listen to R. Kelly, but regardless, I have to accept
the thing is, obviously, with R. Kelly,
truth
it gets a bit more controversial because obviously with the lyrics that my man's putting across is a bit like it's almost like now you're thinking like, bro, what kind of scenario is he talking about here? So now it kind of, you get me, if that might make you feel like a bit like yeah, I can't listen to this, innit? Like this is all a bit mad, but
yeah, I mean. You could, to some extent, say that about Michael, just that R. Kelly did a lot more of those weird lyric songs that you could really be like, yo, what's this guy on?
The thing is, though, that's the thing. Can we really say that every single song, or not every single song, but most particular songs of any sort of like, you know, sexual sort of nature kind of thing that he's talking about is all like a girl that's underage. I don't think that's the case, blood. I don't think that's the case.
It's not. I don't think it would even be the case in general. But just the idea that you could, that is something that pops up in your mind when you're talking about this fellow.
The maddest thing is, I think a lot of man from the 90s. I don't know whether in whatever, I'll probably particularly in the R&B sector, blood, that's probably better than man there that was dealing with the young girl them. Enough, probably loads of them, fam. And obviously, I also think it's been sussed, but yeah.
I also think it's quite interesting that it's not how do I say this? Essentially, the people they were hanging around aren't being caught in the crossfire.
What do you mean?
Perfect example. What's his name? Who's that Don with the tinted glasses that touched children? What's his name? Freaking the famous pedophile. What's his name?
Nah, man, don't know the famous pedophile, blood.
Bruh, famous pedophile. How is it slipped the mind?
Where's he coming from? Who is it?
He's British.
No, but what's it? Music, acting?
No, he was like a TV show host, I think.
There's enough for those as well. Those are the BBC C ones as well.
Yeah, like the main one.
It begins with J, innit?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know exactly who you're talking about, blood. Not even I can remember. I just know it begins with J. I know exactly who you're talking about. You got Google right there, mate. Type it in.
Oh man.
But what was your main point about him? You know exactly who you're talking about.
But my point was I think it's weird that he was caught, but they didn't start asking questions about the people he was hanging around. Because there's no way he could have been doing all the stuff he was doing and there wouldn't have been people in his circle that were okay with it. And the truth is, that time period was weird as it was. There were so many things.
What do you mean that wasn't okay with it?
No, that were okay with it.
Oh, sin.
So
yeah,
so I find it surprising
everyone's probably
that
a corporate in that sense, but
so I think those people who hung around with this guy, whether you're guilty or not, should also be.
Yeah, but it's not a thing because them people there probably don't really have no name. So it's it's probably not a thing like that in the sense to kind of really draw.
Jimmy Savile, that's it.
Yeah.
Him.
It's probably not a thing like that because them normal man there ain't got no name like that. So it probably ain't not a thing to really kind of bring them out and say, yeah, these are corporates as well and blah blah blah. You get
me? I reckon name or no name. if you're getting
I'm
involved
saying that
or following it, you should be done for sure.
Yeah, I'm not saying that you shouldn't be, but I'm just saying, in terms of like, you know, in terms of from a media aspect and like, bruv, like you're just not.
Yeah, but it's the reason I was saying that is I reckon that each one of these individuals, the Harvey Weinsteins or whatever, that are found, they should also keep in check the people who were around them, because there's no way they could have been operating. I would have thought
that would have been a standard thing anyway.
Yeah, but I guess it's not as publicized as the one individual, which I find quite interesting, because I do know obviously that they're trying to constantly be covering up stuff, but
bare shit's covered up. Bare shit's covered up in every sort of department that you can possibly think of. So, yeah, shit could even be covered up in that Michael Jackson thing. You get me? You just never know, man.
And the tricky situation about how big he was is that he had the money to do it if you needed to.
The thing is, this is what even someone said the other day. Like, if it wasn't Michael Jackson, bruv, and it was just any guy, like, would we think that my man did it? Probably so. Probably would. If this was not Michael Jackson, that was being accused and had bare allegations against touching 9-year-olds or however old they were or whatever, would we think that this guy did it based on how he is?
If the guy's circumstance was exactly the same as Michael Jackson, personally, I wouldn't believe he did it.
I'm saying they probably would think. A lot of people would probably think
he definitely did it. Yeah,
this guy did it.
Yeah.
So why is it that because my man's got some kind of status and whatever, and it's this, and we know he's got hits and blah blah blah, but why is it any different for my man? He's still just a normal human being.
Yeah.
Bro. I'm not saying he's not talented or whatever, but why is it any different? No, it's not really any different, bro.
I think that's just the human bias where
I don't give a shit. It's not any different, is it? Really?
No, I'm not saying it's right. No. I'm
saying
in terms of
this is
why
that is.
To
everyone else. I'm saying put that all aside, innit?
Yeah,
it's no different. It's no different.
Be different. You should treat the person the same, regardless of status, regardless of talent, whatever. If they did something wrong, let them face the consequences they should face, regardless of it. But that is where man like Morgan Freeman comes out.
No.
Huh?
What was you gonna say about Morgan Freeman though? Because I was about to say something.
About his whole sexual misconduct allegations since 2017.
What's he done?
Every single person I have said this to does not have a clue.
Everyone's done something. Everyone's done something. So I don't give a shit about that.
It's funny because my mate also said that. I'm like, rah.
No, everyone's done something, but I don't even care. But what I was gonna say though is it randomly pop. You know how things randomly pop into my brain, but I have to see if this is a thing because obviously we're talking about MJ and whatnot, and this is gonna go completely way off now. I don't give a damn though.
Okay.
Yeah. Like, because obviously we're all, everyone's holding him up in that limelight thing and kind of thinking, because he's celebrity, innit? Yeah. So, it's like, nah, you know what I mean? Like, he wouldn't do that. Like, of course not, blah, blah, blah. But completely going off now, I have to see if this is a thing, innit? Like, so... This is probably more opposed to the man them. Because I want to know if your gal is got... I don't know if this is still a thing.
No idea where this is going, but...
I don't know if this is still a thing, yeah? But I want to know if your gal has got another man as her cover pic, whether that's on her phone, on... fucking Facebook, on Twitter, whatever it is, if she's got another man as her fucking, cover pic or DP or whatever, and it's a celebrity, do you just turn the blind eye? Do you turn a blind eye to that and say, oh, well, yeah, okay, well, it's a celebrity kind of whatnot, Trey Songz, yeah, it's alright? Or is it like, hold up, why have you got another man as your DP? Because me personally, blood, when man used to have these little encounters and whatever, I'm saying, this is just any other dude. As far as I'm concerned, No, hold on. Let's hold on there. yeah.
I'm trying to
yeah. Because I get it. I do get it, bruv. I do get it. I get it. You know, this guy or whatever, you know, does amazing stuff. He makes great music or whatever he's doing, whether he's an actor or musician or whatever. But at the end of the day, he's still just another guy.
Dude.
Yeah. So what is he doing as your DP and I ain't? Do you see what I'm saying, Brad?
Yeah.
But I need to know if that's really, if man really look into that, like is it that deep? Is it that deep? Because I think to some extent
it is. Yeah. To some extent.
Extent, it is that deep.
Yeah.
Like, how can you be with someone, but then not have your man as your cover pick or whatever? You get me? It's almost like when Galdin put like MCM. Their man's name or like a name or whatever in the status, you get me, or in the bio in Instagram. But imagine it's get me? Imagine it's raw someone else, and it's raw not your name. What's going on there? Like, walk one. Like, now real talk. You have to ask yourself, what's going on? Why is your name not there, but she's with you, but she's put another man's name in her thing?
That definitely is a. It's one of those things that it seems like it's not that deep, but if you really look at it, there's a lot of questions that come up. The main question that pops up in my head in that scenario is, if she ever had an encounter with that individual.
I ask this all the time, bro.
If that's the case, if she ever had an encounter with that individual, would she go all the way?
For me though, and what I will have to say on that as well is, even when I kind of ask that question, I always think like, yo, like, if you was to encounter this person and whatever, my man's saying, yeah, he wants to take you out or whatnot, or he wants a one night with you. You don't necessarily know what that means in the sense of like what's going to happen, but get me? Yeah. He wants to take you out regardless. Like, what you saying? Now, what are you gonna do? Because this is potentially, more than likely, a one-time thing. Yeah. It could just be a one-time
once in a lifetime experience type situation.
One time, flipping, basically what you said, yeah?
Yeah.
And do you go with that, or do you not? Which way are you swinging now? Are you swinging home with your man, or you carry on the night with your man? Or do you swing the other way and go home with the Chris Brown or the Trey Songz or the Tank, or get me? Like, which way are you swinging? I'm bare gal are gonna be listening to this now thinking, why? Tank, Chris Brown.
Oh man,
Trey.
Yeah,
and they want to swing that way. They want to swing that way, but
I don't blame them for wanting to. But I feel like
if you reverse it, probably give man the same question.
Yeah.
And whether we tell you the truth or not, we probably want to swing the other way. But that's not to say with all.
Well, personally,
yeah. You see, I'm not saying that's with all, but I'm saying the idea of it is definitely like it's
very it's very
exciting,
glamorous. Exactly.
But the thing is, what I'm
getting the fact that that doesn't happen to anyone.
But that's what I mean. But the thing that I'm getting at with that is that this is a one life thing. You might not get to experience this again. You might not ever have this opportunity again. And when you're looking back, and when you're 70 years old or however old you are, and you're going over and you're reminiscing and you're going over your time of growing up and when you was this age and whatever, and you think back to that one time that you had where
you turned down Chris Brown.
You could have done this, or you could have, you know me, or whatever, or you could have just
bragging rights, innit?
Like, I guarantee you, if you get to that stage, you probably regret it. I reckon most people might have to do a poll, but I reckon most people are probably gonna regret it and say, yeah, you know what? I actually would have liked to have gone there, but I didn't because of XYZ, because obviously I was with such and such.
I reckon
and they wanted to be respectful and blah blah blah. But I don't know, man. life is all about experiencing. You get me? So it's kind of like.
Do you know what I feel like this is taking the conversation to? Where celebrities should sit. Like in terms of societal and value wise. Because I feel like the only reason why someone would look at that scenario and go, oh man, I would have really wanted to do that, is I feel like that pulls up the question, where do celebrities sit in terms of what's your value system looking like? Because in my opinion, as far as I'm concerned, I don't know you.
But as
from
far as
anywhere.
I'm concerned, everyone's the same, but I don't give a shit who you are or if you've got money or
obviously
whatever.
It's like obviously normally you look at it and you go, oh, this person has money, oh, this person is famous, oh, this would be pretty cool. But at the same time, you're like, I'm in a thing. I'm in a relationship, whether it's a boyfriend, girlfriend, whether it's a marriage, whatever.
Brother,
like,
and the maddest thing is when people encounter these people, you know, it's like you get past the whole Star Trek structing, and it's like when you get chatting now, they're just like any other normal person, blood, and you're like. It's almost like you're flabbergasted now because you thought they were gonna be this dude, and you know, this dude, but what they see in
really
the video and whatnot.
He might even be, probably is worse than your man, especially the fact that you don't even know who this Don is.
If you are going for the, something there, you get me, you get it, and just imagine that my man don't even last that long. How much of a power would that be? You are waiting to get the something. And he literally didn't even last that long. Now you're either gonna be like, I was very satisfied with the timing that I got because it was who it was, or you're gonna just be laying there and think, well, that was fucking whack. like what?
Funny.
Like, boy, I can't wait to tell my girl what's going on. Like, they're gonna know. They're gonna find out about this, and but
I saw a post on Instagram the other day about this whole thing where they was like, no matter how pretty or good looking your significant other is, there's always gonna be someone out there who would be more physically attractive than your significant other.
I don't even think it's that. I don't think it's necessarily a case of that person being more. Or someone else you find attractive. I'm not saying for all, but not even more. 1,000%. You're gonna come across others that you're just attracted to. It's just as simple as that, bruv.
And where I think the problem is, because having this conversation with other people, they feel like saying that is a problem because you're like, oh my gosh, how could you say that? But it's like the only reason you would be scared to say that is if the only value you have in your individual
this goes back to episode 1.
Funny enough, it does.
You're in the rules, man.
Exactly, you've messed it up.
You're in the rules,
and the only it's not even just the rules. It's like where you're coming from.
Scared.
If you're telling me that the value you place in your significant other is purely in their looks, that is the only reason why I would be scared to say, oh, that person is also attractive, because automatically you saying that has ruled like pit your significant other against that person. Whereas it shouldn't be that. Like the way I feel people should look at it is, if all else fails, let's say she gets run over and her face is absolutely clapped, or you go blind, or I don't know, what's the worst thing that can happen that will destroy all the material excitements of this individual? If all else fails, would you still stay with this person, and why would that be? In my head, that should be the thing that causes someone to stay in that space.
I know a lot of people saying no.
Yeah.
And more than likely, blood. Like, again, even so, like, even when you get them ones like, if like someone loses a leg and whatnot, like, are you still like, get me? I've heard a lot of people say, nah, like I'm off, innit? Sadly, I'm off. Like, but
it's wild.
That's just some, sometimes that's just how it goes, man. But we gotta start being more honest with ourselves, people.
100%.
Gotta start being more honest with the conversations that we're having within our relationships and potential growing relationships and whatnot. Because
this whole thing in terms of like
there's this. Essentially, bruh, how do I say this without exposing myself?
And the maddest thing is, I know somewhere in my phone I actually written it down.
Yeah.
Saying that, yo, like, us men, in particular, need to start communicating more. We don't
100%.
enough.
100%.
And the maddest thing is, when I was
Big
watching
facts.
something the other day, I can't remember the guy's name, but he's got a real sick fucking like relationship book out. I'm gonna get it myself.
Yeah.
But even when he was breaking it down and he was speaking and blah blah blah, like even he was saying like, yo, like, man gets scared to say a lot of stuff because we feel like if we, especially in the sense of like, if you know, when you're in the stages of getting to know someone, blah blah blah, like a lot of men don't want to lay their feelings out how they really feel, like on the table, blood, because it's kind of like, yo, you might scare that person off.
Yeah.
You might be coming across too strong, like, so man just don't end up saying nothing.
Yeah.
We just try to keep it like at the bare minimum. You get me? It's almost like we're just trying to play this game.
Yeah. It's like,
but really,
you're trying to tiptoe gradually
yeah,
around.
yeah,
and
really.
hope
Like
they get
if we comfortably felt like, yeah, we could just, and I'm not saying that man don't do it, because you know there are some guys that do it, but
yeah,
I think a lot of us don't really.
Personally, I am one of those people who I'm way too emotional of a person and way too expressive of a person to be able to hold stuff to myself. So I constantly have to
lay it out, man.
Yeah,
that's what I say.
And,
if you, like, I feel like it's
even
best,
as
man.
someone who does it, like, that's just who I am, and I know that. I do find a lot of situations where I find myself in where I'm like, within this whole relationship conversation, where I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't want to say this because I feel like, how's this person gonna receive it?
Yeah,
oh,
and it might be coming across mushy. It's
exactly.
Soft. And that's the number one thing that comes to mind.
It's so demasculating to some a high
but that's what it is,
extent.
and that's the typical stereotype kind of put that imagery kind of on like on being a man, innit? Like, it's emasculating to kind of say like, you know, stuff like that, because you know it makes us come across soft, and you know it's too mushy and whatnot, and a girl might look at that and think, yo, like, yeah, he's too, like, he's got that image, he's got that look of like a bad boy or whatever, but he's coming across real soft right now, you get me? And like, and especially when you've got that kind of image as well, it's kind of like, yo, you don't want to put that across, but like, yo, this is how you actually feel in it, like, this is how man actually feel in it. So and like, let's this is one scenario, and I'm changing names because I'm not trying to expose nobody, but Sally, Sally, me and Sally are having a conversation of pure transparency, and she says something like being purely transparent. She's telling me something about either something that's happened in the past or about how she feels in certain scenarios about certain things, whether she disagrees with certain beliefs I have within relationships and stuff. And Sally's friends are then having a go at her for saying certain things, because apparently there are some stuff that you shouldn't say. That she shouldn't say, or you shouldn't say?
No, that she shouldn't say.
In terms of how she feels?
In terms of how she feels, and either details about things that have happened.
Why is that, though?
I don't fully know, but I feel like it's one of those things where I don't know. I really want to get to the bottom of that idea, because I find it so fascinating that there actually
like,
girls who are actually,
they feel like they might be trying to protect her. You get me? Like,
I either protect her or feeling that Sally is going to say something that's going to mess this up because she's being honest.
Yeah, but
honest,
then
to some extent.
Of course, with this whole thing, there's limits to things, isn't it? And there's certain little thresholds and whatnot that, like, I'm not saying, oh, like, man have to, like, yeah, but of course sometimes, like, yeah, you do have to lay everything out on the table. It depends what stage you're in, man. But I think
100%. That's something that
you know
should be taken into consideration.
You kind of know where you're at. You kind of know like what is too much and what is just enough. You get me? So you get me? Like, as long as you can pull it out to one of those thresholds, like, it's better than keeping it all in. Man, just kind of just keeping how they feel all in or whatever, like, and just not really saying that and then, you know, you've just got the girl there or whatever, and she's just kind of like, boy, I don't really know how my man feels or whatever.
Yeah.
Blah blah blah. It's because you don't know how my man feels, because either, yeah, don't get me wrong, I'm saying everyone's gonna feel something. My man might not feel nothing for you. You get me? Could just be being a manipulator. You get me? But
part-time.
Yeah, part-time. But, yeah. Aside from that, if you get me, if he's got, you get me, the genuine feelings for you and whatever, then yeah, man, more than likely he probably does want to lay that out on the table and let you know, well gone. But again, yeah, obviously you just have to analyze that situation. Maybe he's thinking you don't know how you feel. You know, he's trying to gauge how you feel about this whole, you know, how you feel about him and blah blah blah. You get me? So sometimes, yeah, there's a lot of things that run through a man's brain which girls probably know already. Hence why, like, getting anything out of us sometimes it just feels like hard work, innit?
Facts.
Yeah, man. And again, you know, even to the women as well, like, if you want to know, sometimes you better, like, you need to ask your questions a bit more deeply, innit? To really get to, like, the root of what it is that you're trying to get to. You get me? Like, especially, like, when you're asking someone, like, yeah, you good and whatnot, and, like, this goes for both, really. This goes for both ways. But, like, you can ask your guy, you can ask, you know, someone, like, you know, you're chatting to or whatever, and you ask them, oh yeah, is it, like, you good, blah blah blah, and the man could just say, oh, like, yeah, I'm cool, I'm good, or yeah, everything's fine, B, or whatever, when everything ain't fine, blood. Everything ain't alright. You get me? Like, you sometimes you gotta dig deeper and say, like, yeah, man, like, what's, you get me? Like, what's bothering you right now? Is there anything bothering you, like, you know, like, what's going on, like? And, like, when you pose them questions now, that's when the man really starts to think, boy, like, yeah, man, like, this is what's going on. Like, whether he wants to say it or not, but, like, yeah, this is what's going on, and rare, like, you get a bit deeper then. But if you just be like, oh, yeah, like, you all good? Yeah, I'm good. You just keep it moving, bro.
Yeah, it would
keep it moving.
It would just end up being purely surface level. Yeah. And personally, I can't deal with that.
Which is shit.
Because I'm all about just being 100% transparent.
It don't work. The surface thing, and I think especially nowadays, it just don't work. We're just in a time where we just need to dig deeper, man.
Yeah, for sure.
We just need to dig deeper, and the whole surface thing and whatnot, and not having these open conversations, and not having just things, you know, just open for discussion. Like, get me? If you ain't got those things in place, like, I'm telling you, it ain't working, innit? Like, unless you're just both gonna, like, fool yourself and make it seem like, you know, everything's alright, and live in this kind of, like, little sugar-coated thing, and not really kind of, you know, get behind, you know, of what, you know, stuff really is. But yeah, man, yeah. But I still want to know about that bloody question, though. I still want to know about the celebrities. I want to know if that's still a thing. That'd be quite I really want to know.
Pop that on like Instagram.
Nah, we're posting. We're all gonna do a poll because I want to know if that's a thing up there or not, or if man just looking into it too deep.
Too deep.
I reckon it's a thing, bro.
For sure.